Hi, I'm Dan Kane, President of Family Law Software, and this is one of 4 videos for firm decision makers on why you should invest in family law software. This video will explain the analytical tools of the software. The analytical functions are all grouped on this Analysis tab of the software. As you can see, they are grouped in 4 sections. First, analysis relating to what if of the various key decision items. Second, analysis relating to alimony or spousal support. Third, analysis relating to dividing the assets between the parties. And fourth, analysis relating to child support arrears. These screens have all been refined over a period of years to be as straightforward as possible to use. Professionals who use these tools will have a competitive advantage over professionals who do not. Let's now take a quick look at each of these screens. We'll start with Support Impact. So what this screen does is it shows the impact of child support, spousal support, and taxes on each party's bottom line. The 2 bars on the left show each party's gross income before child support, spousal support, and taxes, and the 2 bars on the right show each party's income after child support, spousal support, and taxes. This graph tends to show the equalizing impact of child support, spousal support, and taxes on the parties' bottom lines. The next report will show payer outflows. What this will show you is how much of the payer's income goes to child support, how much goes to taxes, how much goes to spousal maintenance or spousal support, and how much is left for the payer's other expenses. This is a very helpful chart to help the payer understand the implications of any proposed settlement. Recipient sources, the next graph that we have, shows the recipient how much of his or her income is coming from wages and other earned income, and how much is coming from child support and spousal maintenance. Again, this can be very important for the recipient who is considering the termination, eventually, of child support and spousal maintenance, wants to be certain that he or she will be okay even after those sources have expired. And the last chart, percent of combined, shows the percent of the total income that is available after taxes that is being kept by each party. And this is a measure of how equal the distribution is after child support, spousal support, and taxes. So all of these are very helpful graphs. They're generated entirely by the software. All you have to do is click on the Support Impact Report and click on the various graphs that are shown. The next couple of screens are what ifs, and they ask what if about the key decision factors in a divorce. So the first one asks what if for child support, and we have set up the actual column and 2 scenarios here. And what we do is we vary in the scenarios key decision factors like how much spousal maintenance is, what the overnights are, what the wages will be, what the filing status will be, and then with those changes, you can instantly see at the top the child support amount that results based on those different scenarios. So this is a very powerful tool, and again, very easy to use. The next analytical tool asks what if for other key decision factors. What if child support is different? What if spousal maintenance is different? And there's a whole list of things about which you can ask what if. What if exemptions are different? What if filing status is different? What if one person earns more or less? And then you can select an item you want to ask what if about. So now we're asking what if just about wages. Go to the what if entries and results, change wages, and instantly see the impact on the bottom line. So here we've changed wages to 2 million, and we instantly see a dramatic impact for Blake of that change. And this allows you to ask what if about any of these key decision factors, and as you can see, it is very quick and very easy to use. So those are the analytical tools that ask what if. Now let's move on to the alimony or spousal support tools. And there are 2 ways that the software allows you to approach in a rational manner the setting of alimony. The first one is balance incomes. We saw earlier that the alimony that we had set brought the cash after taxes, child support and spousal support, to a pretty even level. And what this screen does is it lets you determine
how much spousal support do you need to do that? So here we have set a desired 50-50 ratio of cash available after taxes, and the spousal maintenance that's needed to get to that point is $1,967. Now I'm going to click Show Another Column and ask, well, what if we want Taylor to have 55% of the income after child support, spouse support, and taxes? Then Taylor would need $2,839 in spousal maintenance to reach that point. Again, very powerful and very simple. And the remaining reports on this page let you see what happens. These are the details of what the calculation would be if spousal support were set at that level. Let's go on to our next tool, which is a different way of rationally determining spousal support. And this way does not look at the relative needs of the two parties. Instead, it looks just at meeting the need of the recipient. You might use this one in a case where the payer is clearly going to meet the payer's own needs, and it's just a matter of giving the recipient enough income to meet the recipient's needs. In this case, we have said that after taxes, the recipient needs $90,000 in order to cover all other expenses, and the software has said the recipient needs $4,088 of spousal maintenance in order to reach that point. Let's show another column, and let's say that Taylor really only needs $80,000 of income after taxes. Then the software will say $2,885 of spousal maintenance would do the trick. And again, you get details, an expanded report, options, and a graph. Again, very powerful tool, very easy to use. So those are our spousal maintenance analysis tools. Now let's go on to divide the property between the parties. This worksheet is created entirely automatically by the software based on the assets and debts that were entered when you were preparing your financial statement. So just prepare your financial statement and boom, you have a list of assets and debts ready to be divided between the parties. The graph at the top here shows graphically how the assets have been divided so far, and the equalization amount here will show you how far you are from a 50-50 split. And then just enter the assets and debts as you want them to be divided, and as I make any change, the bars change up top, the equalization amount changes here, and the total divided so far changes here. One other thing that is very nice about this page is that it is dividing only the marital or community property. As we know, certain property, which is called separate property, is taken off the table for purposes of the property division. And when we entered assets, we had the opportunity to specify how much of any asset was separate property. And once we have done that, the separate property is automatically taken off the table for this purpose. So the entries that you make for your financial affidavit are completely and automatically, instantaneously integrated with the entries you need for your property division. Our next tool is going to be property division scenarios. Just as we did with child support, we can have multiple scenarios that allow us to try different allocations of particular assets and see the impact of that allocation on the overall allocation between the parties. Our next tool is going to be dividing property on an after-tax basis. Now this is a very sophisticated tool. You can set all kinds of rates in the software, and then the software will show you what the after-tax division is between the parties. And more than that, the software will show you in detail exactly how it arrived at each of these after-tax amounts, so that if you feel the software's method is not the method you would employ, you can override the software just for that asset and say, no, I think the after-tax value of the consulting business is different than was calculated. I'm just going to override and enter that right here. So you have the combination of extensive calculation with ultimate decision-making authority in your hands. Again, very simple, very quick. And finally, let's look at the arrears calculation. The arrears report allows us to calculate how much child support and interest is owed by a party who has not fulfilled his or her obligation. And it is an extremely flexible report. You can enter multiple obligations. Here there's one entered. You can enter multiple rates. So here there's a rate, starting rate, and then a rate that is changed in 2018, and you can change the rates as many times as they changed in your jurisdiction. You can enter a number of regular payments. These might be through wage withholding. And here we have payments of $180 that were made for a few years, and then $150 that were made for a year. And you can enter any number of one-time payments. So here there was a holiday payment in 2020 and another payment in March. And you can specify for all of these payments how they are applied. Is it interest only? Is it interest and then principal, principal and then interest? First to the current principal and then interest and then other principal, and so on. And you can specify that for each payment depending on how things are done in your jurisdiction. And then based on all of that, the software will generate a report that will show you how much is the principal that is owed, how much is the interest that is owed, and how much is the principal plus interest that is owed. And as it does elsewhere, the software will show you in detail exactly how that arrears amount is calculated. So those are the analytical tools that the software has, and these have been really the complete set of analytical tools that any of our subscribers have asked for. And what we have seen is that the software allows the parties to instantly see the impact of proposed child support, spouse support, and taxes, to ask what if about all of the key decision factors in the divorce, to divide the assets between the parties in a way that is fair, to arrive at a fair and rational alimony or spousal support amount, and to calculate child support and spousal support arrears. And we have seen that all of these tools are simple and straightforward to use. And you can see how and why these tools give a decided advantage to the professionals who use them. This concludes our video on the analytical tools in family law software. Thanks for watching.